So my name is Nathan Lang, and I'm currently with CDW, based out of Chicago. And so we're a K-12 solution provider, but I'm an educator at heart. So I was a teacher, a administrator. I worked in a central office, even did a stint at NASA, was working in their education office. And now I'm here with a bunch of fine folks learning about technology and education and how we can make this convergence as innovative as possible.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that. We at 4 we finished the show and we hit the exhibit area, so we take our field recorder and we go to booths and we get to quick interviews with everybody.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hit the startups. And we were just talking about edupreneurs, and that's really what you are. You're a cutting edge edupreneur. You realized, okay, I did this in education. Now how can I help in a broader sense? And what can I do? What can I, Is that how you felt it? Like, I think I can help in a bigger capacity.
Absolutely. When I'm asked that question, why did you pursue the opportunities that you pursued? And I always went back to, I had to question, what is my compass? What is my true north? And it's always to help students thrive, to help them grow. So my question was this next step, was it going to enable me to still pursue that? Could it change education in a new way? And so if the answer is yes, then definitely I wanted to be a part of the new adventure. And so you're exactly right. It was always about, in this new capacity, how can I affect change in a new and different way?
Yeah. So one of my favorite questions to ask, so you're stint at NASA.
Yeah.
So, we're just talking about computer science.
Yeah, I heard that when I walked up. It's really interesting.
Most of the states are adopting really nice computer science standards now. Yeah. We're seeing a move into coding, and we've been talking about that for 30 years. 20 at least, but it's now become the cool thing. We were talking about the geek culture, and I guess that's one of my questions is, I'm a geek. And so,
so am I. I think we all are at this conference.
I think that's that's really cool about it. So happening right now, what do you see in your job as being like the hot thing, what's really happening?
Yeah. So it's interesting you mentioned computer science, because that truly is a trend that we have been noticing across schools across the nation. And really, when we say computer science, we are referring to a way of thinking and doing. And so it's not necessarily, yes, there are computer science standards, but it's more about how can we recognize patterns in what we're doing. How are we looking at a problem and we are chunking it up into segments and we are going about it in a way that makes sense, or in a way that's going to get us into a better outcome. And so really it's a way of thinking and doing, as opposed to a lot of people, when you hear about computer science, it's a scary thing for a lot of for teachers, because I go back to my C++ days of in college. I had to take computer science and I was doing the C++ programming, and it's a bit different now. And yes, it can lead to coding, and I think coding is fantastic, but at the broader scale, it really is a way of solving problems, a way of thinking differently, so we can get a better outcome.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's become I hate to use the word. No, I'm going to use the word. It's become sexier. I spend, this will date me, but I spent a lot of time in the VAX lab doing Pascal and Fortran and COBOL and all that. So, that's a long time ago. But, it wasn't cool. We were in the basement, we're all pasty skinned and we're all, no. But, you're right. And I think what's interesting is how the standards are going to help a lot of kids who don't even go into anything computer related, tech related, with the thinking and doing and patterns.
Yeah.
Those are the three things you hit right on, that it's about patterns. It's about what's happening and all that kind of good stuff. So your role here at the conference.
Yeah, absolutely. My role here at the conference is, of course, to be a learner like everyone else. It's also to be a connector and be able to connect with educators across the nation, to listen about what are their current issues, how are they implementing tech with fidelity and with consistency in the classroom, how are they managing this process if it's a new initiative, and then looking at how I can partner along with them to say, hey, how can I support you as you transition? Because it's such a grand opportunity we have. There's a continuum. You have districts who are still asking the questions of like, what are the revolutionary technologies? You have some districts, they have the what, but now they're trying to figure out the how. Like, how are we going to do this? And then you have some organizations who are still talking about the why. Why do we need to go down this route? And so that's where I come in as far as being a thought partner with those individuals to really talk about where are you now and where are you going and how can we get there together?
Yeah. Well, and I think that's one of the very key pieces that, frankly, I think a lot of districts miss is the why.
Yeah.
You know, they might even have the what. You know, hey, we have all this stuff, or they're coming to you to say, hey, we want to get all this stuff, and we're going to throw it at the students, and it's going to help with whatever.
Absolutely.
And you're like, yeah, but why are you, why go with that particular equipment that you want to throw at the students, or for that matter, what do you think is going to happen, or what do you want to happen?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's the 4-letter P word that nobody wants to talk about, right? Planning, right? Plan. What's the plan for this?
Like, that's 6 letters, 7 letters.
Yeah. Well, I know. Sorry, I know. I corrected myself. But the plan. What is the plan? What are you going to do with this?
Absolutely.
And so when they have somebody that they can come to who can help with that part of it and the why, I think that makes a huge difference. And they may walk away. Initially, they thought, hey, we were going to go with, this particular product and we were going to buy, 800 of them. And after they talk and get that plan in order, you go, okay, well, actually, we don't need 800 of that particular device. Maybe we need 400 of this other device, or these disparate devices to help us achieve the goals we're trying to achieve with our students.
Yeah, excellent point, David. And a lot of times we listen to questions and we want to say, let's reframe the question here. Are we really wanting to know, is this tech more superior than the other? Is that really the question we want to explore? Or is it really, how can we use tech to change thinking processes? How can we use tech to make more learning, meaningful learning experiences for students? Those are the questions we should be asking. Then once we determine that, then we can say, okay, this is the tech that might accomplish that goal. So going back to outcomes, learning goals, we can get to the what, but the what question should come later on in the conversation.
Yes, yes.
That's exactly right. And CDWG has always been on the cutting edge of that.
Agreed.
When I think about it, and I've been in the business 25 years, and so I can think back to the late 90s when, even then CDWG was sending us educational information. They got it right at the get-go. Okay, this is where we need to be looking. And, they're at that time, their print media, would say, hey, where are you going? What are you looking to achieve? It's always been that kind of push. I think it's gotten more prominent now because of the web.
Yeah.
Because it's instantaneous, and now we realize we need it. We think about one of your partners, Go Guardian.
Yeah.
You guys are always thinking about, yes, you've done this now, so what can we also offer on top of that? Which Go Guardian's a wonderful, group product, and you guys have a lot of services.
We do. We have over 1,000 different partners.
Yeah. Right.
And so that's a part of districts when they make a leap into new technology. They want to feel comfortable. They want to ensure that there's safety there. The teachers want to be able to manage 25 different devices and students and what they're doing and be able to feel confident and comfortable about, I'm taking a risk here, I'm taking a leap, and I want to be able to feel supported and have that extra boost of confidence as we're going down this change. I appreciate you saying that, and that's something that we're definitely very proud of.
Yeah, and you guys do a wonderful job at it.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
So, conference, what do you got going on today? Anything
Absolutely, exciting? So I've been here as a part of the Executive Summit, and so I've been able to hear amazing speakers like Eric Schenniger and Tom Murray and Franz Davis, and so being able to just connect with other thought leaders in the field, hear about what they're working on, hear about what they are working on next, and really being able to talk. Really, the theme of this Executive Summit is about innovation, and so we're hearing a lot of conversations about how do we innovate, how do we go beyond these platitudes that we often say, we have to disrupt, we have to ask questions, and so we get that.
Yeah.
Now what's the next step? What does that look like tangibly? I have some colleagues here who are a part of a panel, and so really talking about those tough questions and really moving beyond the language and really going to what's the next step? What's their actionable next steps?
That's one of the interesting things we find out. Those tough questions, when you go to a conference and when you have a meeting, there's that time it takes to get comfortable.
Yeah.
And by the time you get to the questions that you need to answer, you're running out of time.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the things we've liked here. The pre-conference yesterday, the summit that was happening yesterday, it's kicking off today, and it's going, the rest of the week. I think that's one thing about here and the way that LRP's built this is that those questions can get hit right here at the first. We're comfortable at the point of the interview so that we're feeling even better about having a discussion.
Definitely.
And then we can answer those questions.
Absolutely.
And we've been asking those same questions for years. Even before we had all this tech, it was
Right.
still the same questions.
Right.
Right.
What overhead do I use?
Right.
It's still
Yeah,
one of those deals.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's good to know that you guys are forward thinking and keeping that at the forefront.
Yeah.
It's not just about selling stuff. It's about making a better country, a better education system.
We have to be, and that truly is what our value is. What our value add is. We're very customer centric, and at the bottom line, at the end of the day, is how are we supporting this next generation of students? They are the future, and we have to prepare them to go into the workplace. And so everything that we do always comes back to how are we truly meeting the needs of the student. And so that's every initiative that we pursue always goes back to that. And I know that sounds very cliche because you hear it all the time, do what's best for kids, and we so believe it. But sometimes we get so, just in education in general, we get so stuck in if it's standards or assessment or the tools, we have to go back and say, is this meaningful, and is this truly moving the needle, and are students truly being more successful because of our work? And so that's a reevaluation and a reflection that we have to do every single day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, anything else you want to share with us?
No, just thank you all for the good work that you're doing and engaging educators. I know that it's so important. At this conference, we talked about PLNs a lot and the use of social media and media to be able to connect with educators. And it's phenomenal to be able to hear different perspectives. I know every time that I go to a conference, it's always about the relationships that you establish. I have a new relationship with you guys now, which is great.
Right. Yes.
But being able to add to your thought partners and being able to springboard new ideas and challenge, new frontiers together. So absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity and great meeting you guys.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So if folks want to get in touch with you.
Yeah, absolutely. On Twitter, follow me, hashtag, or not hashtag, at NALANG1. And I hashtag a lot, so that's probably why I said hashtag. I hashtag DivergeEd, DIVERGED, and host a chat on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Central. And it really talks about, we discuss divergent thinking education and really try to push the envelope. There are a lot of great chats out there, like Lead Up Chat on Saturday mornings as well, that I helped to co-found. So it's been a great journey with learning educators across Twitter. But yeah, find me on Twitter. Love to connect.